Hello, and welcome to our video on the metabolism. Metabolism refers to the chemical, metabolic processes that take place as your body converts foods and drinks into energy. It's a complex process that combines calories and oxygen to create and release energy. This energy then fuels body functions. The three main purposes of metabolism are the conversion of the energy in food to energy available to run cellular processes, the conversion of food to build building blocks for proteins, lipids, nucleic acids, and some carbohydrates, and the elimination of metabolic wastes. These enzyme-catalyzed reactions allow organisms to grow and reproduce, maintain their structures, and respond to their environments. The word metabolism can also refer to the sum of all chemical reactions that occur in living organisms, including digestion and the transportation of substances into and between different cells, in which case the above described set of reactions within the cells is called intermediary or intermediate metabolism. Metabolism is the process by which your body converts what you eat and drink into energy. During this complex process, calories in food and beverages are combined with oxygen to release the energy your body needs to function. Even when you're at rest, your body needs energy for all of its hidden functions, such as breathing, circulating blood, adjusting hormone levels, and growing and repairing cells. The number of calories your body uses to carry out these basic functions is known as your basal metabolic rate, what you might call metabolism. During strenuous or vigorous physical activity, our muscles may burn through as much as 3,000 kilojoules per hour. The energy expenditure of the muscles makes up only 20% or so of the total energy expenditure at rest, but during strenuous exercise, it may increase 50-fold or more. Energy used during exercise is the only form of energy expenditure that we have any control over. Metabolism can be conveniently divided into two different categories: catabolism, the breakdown of molecules to obtain energy, and anabolism, the synthesis of all compounds needed by the cells. Metabolism is closely linked to nutrition and the availability of nutrients. Bioenergetics is a term that describes the biochemical or metabolic pathways by which the cell ultimately obtains energy. Energy formation is one of the vital components of metabolism. Anabolism allows the body to grow new cells and maintain all the tissues. Anabolic reactions in the body use simple chemicals and molecules to manufacture many finished products. Examples include the growth and mineralization of bone and increases in muscle mass. Classic anabolic hormones include growth hormone, a hormone made by the pituitary gland that stimulates growth. Insulin, a hormone made by the pancreas. It regulates the level of sugar glucose in the blood. Cells cannot utilize glucose without insulin. Testosterone. It causes the development of male sex characteristics, such as a deeper voice and facial hair. It also strengthens muscles and bone. Estrogen. It's involved in strengthening bone mass, as well as developing female characteristics such as breasts. Catabolism breaks things down and releases energy. It uses larger compounds to create smaller compounds, releasing energy in the process. Catabolism provides the energy our bodies need for physical activity, from cellular processes to body movements. Catabolic reactions in the cells break down polymers, long chains of molecules, into their monomers, single units. For example, polysaccharides are broken down into monosaccharides. For instance, starch is broken down into glucose. Nucleic acids are broken down into nucleotides. Nucleic acids, such as those that make up DNA, are broken down to purines, pyrimidines, and pentose sugars. These are involved in the body's energy supply. Proteins are broken down into amino acids. In some circumstances, protein is broken down into amino acids to make glucose. When we eat, our body breaks down nutrients. This releases energy, which is stored in molecules of adenosine triphosphate, ATP, in the body. ATP is considered to be the energy currency of life. The energy stored in ATP is the fuel for anabolic reactions. Catabolism creates the energy that anabolism consumes for synthesizing hormones, enzymes, sugars, and other substances for cell growth, reproduction, and tissue repair. The body's metabolic rate, or total energy expenditure, can be divided into three components. Basal metabolic rate, BMR. Even at rest, the body needs energy, kilojoules, to keep all of its systems functioning correctly, such as breathing, keeping the heart beating to circulate blood, growing and repairing cells, and adjusting hormone levels. The body's BMR accounts for the largest amount of energy expended daily, about 50 to 80% of your daily energy use. The thermic effect of food, also known as thermogenesis. Your body uses energy to digest the foods and drinks you consume, and also absorbs, transports, and stores their nutrients. Thermogenesis accounts for about 5 to 10% of your energy use. Energy used during physical activity. This is the energy used by physical movement, and it varies the most depending on how much energy you use each day. Physical activity includes planned exercise, like going for a run or playing sport, but it also includes all incidental activity, such as hanging out the washing, playing with a dog, or even fidgeting. Based on a moderately active person of about 30 to 45 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity per day, this component contributes to about 20% of our daily energy use. Basal metabolic rate. The BMR refers to the minimum number of calories the body needs to function while resting. This amount varies from person to person. BMR fulfills 60 to 70% of the energy the body uses in a day. Rapid weight loss and aggressive calorie restriction decrease the BMR. This is one of the reasons why weight loss is usually not linear and may stall at some point. The BMR is largely determined by the total lean mass, especially muscle mass, because lean mass requires a lot of energy to maintain. Anything that reduces lean mass will reduce the BMR. As the BMR accounts for so much of the total energy consumption, it's important to preserve or even increase the lean muscle mass through exercise when trying to lose weight. This means combining exercise, particularly weight-bearing and resistant exercises to boost muscle mass, with changes towards healthier eating patterns rather than dietary changes alone, as eating too few kilojoules encourages the body to slow the metabolism to conserve energy. Maintaining lean muscle mass also helps reduce the chance of injury when training, and exercise increases your daily energy expenditure. An average man has a BMR of around 7,100 kilojoules per day, while an average woman has a BMR of around 5,900 kilojoules per day. Energy expenditure is continuous, but the rate varies throughout the day. The rate of energy expenditure is usually lowest in the early morning. Your BMR is influenced by multiple factors working in combination, including the following. Body size. Larger adult bodies have more metabolizing tissue and a larger BMR. Amount of lean muscle tissue. Muscle burns kilojoules very rapidly. The amount of body fat. Fat cells are sluggish, and they burn far fewer kilojoules than most other tissues and organs of the body. Crash dieting, starving, or fasting. Eating too few kilojoules encourages the body to slow the metabolism to conserve energy. BMR can drop by up to 15%, and if lean muscle tissue is also lost, this further reduces BMR. Age. Metabolism slows with age due to loss of muscle tissue, but also due to hormonal and neurological changes. Growth. Infants and children have higher energy demands per unit of body weight due to the energy demands of growth and the extra energy needed to maintain their body temperature. Gender. Generally, men have faster metabolisms because they tend to be larger. Genetic predisposition. Your metabolic rate may be partly decided by your genes. Hormonal and nervous controls. BMR is controlled by the nervous and hormonal systems. Hormonal imbalances can influence how quickly or slowly the body burns kilojoules. Environmental temperature. If temperature is very high or very low, the body has to work harder to maintain its normal body temperature, which increases the BMR. Infection or illness. BMR increases because the body has to work harder to build new tissues and to create an immune response. Amount of physical activity. Hard-working muscles need plenty of energy to burn. Regular exercise increases muscle mass and teaches the body to burn kilojoules at a faster rate, even when at rest. Drugs. Caffeine or nicotine can also increase the BMR. Dietary deficiencies. For example, a diet low in iodine reduces thyroid function and slows the metabolism. Foods supply carbohydrates in three forms: starch, sugar, and cellulose, fiber. Starches and sugars form major and essential sources of energy for humans. Fibers contribute to bulk in diet. Body tissues depend on glucose for all activities. Carbohydrates and sugars yield glucose by digestion and metabolism. The overall reaction for the combustion of glucose is written as C6H12O6 plus 6O2 yields 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus energy. Most people consume around half of their diet as carbohydrates. This comes from foods such as rice, wheat, bread, potatoes, and pasta. Proteins are the main tissue builders in the body. They are part of every cell in the body. Proteins help in cell structure, functions, hemoglobin formation to carry oxygen, enzymes to carry out vital reactions, and a myriad of other functions in the body. Proteins are also vital in supplying nitrogen for DNA and RNA genetic material and energy production. Proteins are necessary for nutrition because they contain amino acids. Among the 20 or more amino acids, the human body is unable to synthesize 8 of these, and they're called essential amino acids. The essential amino acids include lysine, tryptophan, methionine, leucine, isoleucine, phenylalanine, valine, and threonine. Some foods with the best quality proteins are eggs, milk, soybeans, meats, vegetables, and grains. Fats are concentrated sources of energy. They produce twice as much energy as either carbohydrates or protein on a weight basis. The function of fats includes helping to form the cellular structure, forming a protective cushion and insulation around vital organs, helping absorb fat-soluble vitamins, and providing a reserve storage for energy. Essential fatty acids, including unsaturated fatty acids like linoleic, linolenic, and arachidonic acids, these need to be taken in a diet. Saturated fats, along with cholesterol, have been implicated in arteriosclerosis and heart disease. The minerals in food do not contribute directly to energy needs, but they are very important as body regulators, and they play a role in metabolic pathways of the body. More than 50 elements are found in the human body. About 25 elements have been found to be essential, meaning a deficiency produces specific deficiency symptoms. Important minerals include calcium, phosphorus, iron, sodium, potassium, chloride ions, copper, cobalt, manganese, zinc, magnesium, fluorine, and iodine. Vitamins are essential organic compounds that the human body cannot synthesize by itself and must, therefore, be present in the diet. Vitamins particularly important in metabolism include vitamin A, B2, riboflavin, niacin or nicotinic acid, and pantothenic acid. B vitamins act as coenzyme and are essential for processing carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins in order to generate energy. When exercising, it is the energy source substance, ATP, that becomes the driving force for moving the muscles. For your body to be able to break down carbohydrates and lipids and continue ATP production, it is very important to get a good balance of B vitamins in your diet. The chemical reactions of metabolism are organized into metabolic pathways, in which one chemical is transformed through a series of steps into another chemical, each step being facilitated by a specific enzyme. Enzymes are crucial to metabolism because they allow organisms to drive desirable reactions that require energy and will not occur by themselves, by coupling them to spontaneous reactions that do release energy. Enzymes act as catalysts. They allow a reaction to proceed more rapidly, and they also allow the regulation of the rate of metabolic reaction, for example, in response to changes in the cell's environment or to the signals from other cells. Hormones help regulate our metabolism. Some of the more common hormonal disorders affect the thyroid. This gland secretes hormones to regulate many metabolic processes, including energy expenditure, the rate at which kilojoules are burned. Thyroid disorders include hypothyroidism, underactive thyroid. The metabolism slows because the thyroid gland does not release enough hormones. A common cause is the autoimmune condition Hashimoto's disease. Some of the symptoms of hypothyroidism include unusual weight gain, lethargy, depression, and constipation. Hyperthyroidism, overactive thyroid, the gland releases larger quantities of hormones than necessary and speeds the metabolism. The most common cause of this condition is Graves' disease. Some of the symptoms of hyperthyroidism include increased appetite, weight loss, nervousness, and diarrhea. Our genes are the blueprints for the proteins in our body, and our proteins are responsible for the digestion and metabolism of our food. Sometimes a faulty gene means we produce a protein that's ineffective in dealing with our food, resulting in a metabolic disorder. In most cases, genetic metabolic disorders can be managed under medical supervision with close attention to diet. The symptoms of genetic metabolic disorders can be very similar to those of other disorders and diseases, making it very difficult to pinpoint the exact cause. See your doctor if you suspect you have a metabolic disorder. Some genetic disorders of metabolism include fructose intolerance, the inability to break down fructose, which is a type of sugar found in fruit, fruit juices, sugar, for example, cane sugar, honey, and certain vegetables. Galactosemia, the inability to convert the carbohydrate galactose into glucose. Galactose is not found in nature by itself. It's produced when lactose is broken down by the digestive system into glucose and galactose. Sources of lactose include milk and milk products, such as yogurt and cheese. Phenylketonuria, the inability to convert the amino acid phenylalanine into tyrosine. High levels of phenylalanine in the blood can cause brain damage. High-protein foods and those containing the artificial sweetener aspartame must be avoided. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.